is the national agencies that mainly take the role over the ICT accessibility. Their main goal is bridging the digital divide. So they want to promote public awareness on information society, and they want to provide some easy access to information. So they mainly establish information access center in local government. It could be district. So there are 10 information access center in Korea, and then all the supplies are provided by government. So this agency collect the computers from government department or office, because the technology grown so rapidly. So they always look for the update in new program, or they want to purchase new equipment. So this agency actually collect those equipment for free, and then they install all the updated software, and then distribute to low-income people, or either they use those computer for the information access center. So they want to expand the citizens' capability in utilizing information, and they also does international cooperation. So before I explain their ICT accessibility program, one of the reasons how the NIA take this important role is a lot of developing country actually interested in the Korean government's policy, such as e-governance, or e-commerce, or e-business. So what the government want to provide them is, we used to invite the policymakers, like some ministry representative, and they come to our country, and then they look around the industry, or they getting the resources how to implement those standard or skills in their country. And then sometimes they have lack of awareness of this ICT accessibility issues, because they feel like this issue is not the priority, secondary. I mean, they always say they have to take care of their people without disability, and then they can. So their concept is to like really approach people with disability as an aspect of welfare or the well-being. So they do not regard this as a priority. But this NIA includes those is the primary issues. So their main goal is increasing awareness in the society. So they developing and supply assist technology equipment, and so past the 5 years they develop 20 devices, and then they operate ICT accessibility forum. So a lot of developer or web programmer or other university researchers came to forum and they discuss about the standard or the revision of the standard. And then we have our own Korean national ICT accessibility standard, and then a lot of other developing countries want to adopt those in their country. So this will provide them the good infrastructure, how to follow the guideline, and then we also conduct the research, like end-user survey of their web accessibility part. So this is one example of the NIA. They have the annual event, an IT competency challenge. This could be held nationally or locally, or school education, the districtly. So a lot of students with a disability came to this event, and then they search the information. So if the person search the faster or the better competency, they can get award or prize. So it could good for them to go to college or having some good resume. Or another thing is easy access. Let's explain about the information access center in local and computer reuse program. As I discussed earlier, they collected the used computer and then remodeled them. And then they also provide access assistive technology for free or the 80% of the coverage. So no matter how much it is, the institute, this agency cover 80% of the purchases. If not able to purchase by the individual, they always connect the internet industry like Samsung or Hyundai, or they always find the fund and then support these people in need. So third, recently they opened the ICT Accessibility Demonstration Center, which is similar to the Microsoft Accessible Lab. So they prepared the 5 different disability scenario and then install the most advanced assist technology settings. So when people from the officer from developing country come to this center, they can look around this demonstration room and then they get to know what is out there, what does assist technology means, and why they need to this kind of ACT accessible in their country. So they can get a better perception. And then all over this domestic world, the NIA, they expanded to the international, like developing world. So far there are 18 the Information Access Center, like Morocco, Vietnam, or Sri Lanka, Tanzania, or Chile. So what they do is, the government in each country, they provide the land or space building, and then Korean government, they provide all the furnitures and computers and assist technology device, and they also provide some professional education. So, and then they send some international volunteer there. So always a Korean, the technical guy staying there and then educate the people in each country. Or sometimes they have a study abroad program or international volunteer program. So college students, they go to the Information Access Center and provide the service, education, etc. So this kind of the international work got recognized by the UN, and then we recently established the Asian Pacific Training Center for Information and Communication Technology for Development, which is referred APCICT in Incheon. And then they have a center. So whenever the developing country, the government officer want to be trained or want to be educated, they can invite it to Korea and then take some training here. And now they have some web-based training module as well. So this center take a really pivotal role in Asian Pacific region and make the developing country to follow ICT accessibility the standard and guideline. So there are 62 country members. So the impact of the Korean national program is Thailand recently adopted telecom accessibility for people with disability as their universal service obligation. Before that time, they didn't include this part in their telecommunication service. And the countries like Cambodia, Philippines, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Vietnam, or Sri Lanka, they came up with their own standard or the guideline, ICT accessibility guideline. So that means they are ready to adopt that to their policy or national program. Okay. So lastly, I want to introduce about the quality of life technology project in Korea. So the same way, it's really hard to get attention from government sector because all the budget or policy or politics decided by the government. So recently we got really a big attention to development of new assist technology. So it's called the quality of life technology and 4-year research project, and we got funding like $40 million to develop new universal mobile devices or universal input sensor devices, software, we have robots,